All the praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone who rule and teach well. Peace and safety and much blessings to the Yakim that's pushing this truth out of the four corners of the earth and our truth to sincerity and diligence. Shalom. So I got a few clips right here that I want to show, which is going to signify how, Esaw, Edom is now, really showing his horns, like he's really showing his horns to the extent like the nations are, seeing this devil clearly for who he is. Okay, even his own Edomite, brethrens, to where it's showing how divided that this kingdom really is, and that it is set to fall. You see, because we are watching the fall of our enemy. We're watching this devil, really Esau, Edom. We do this Trump administration. We're watching this devil, like he's moving forth with his plans, like he's really, out here coveting fields and taking them by violence, okay, and being prideful about it, you see. So I'm going to first start off, and I'm going to read this, and then we're going to, I'm going to play this one clip. This is Psalm 73 and 6. Therefore pride compasseth them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish. They have more than heart could wish. So, he's prideful. He's like, pride is just, it reeks out of him like a drunk that's drunk off of tequila that's sweating. It's pride is just, it's in his DNA, okay? Violence. And he go across the earth. He go in the earth as the hammer of the earth. When you read Jeremiah 50th chapter, it tells you, when you read it in a different translation, it tells you Babylon has been the hammer of the earth, okay? And you about to see through these videos that he's really been the hammer of the earth, okay? Their eyes stand out with fatness, see? And they like I said, they covet fields, and I'm going to show you, okay? Verse 8, it says, they are corrupt, and they speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully, okay? And you're about to see when I play this video. Listen, I'm gonna read that again. Let me read it in the NLT to see. They wear pride, verse 6, they wear pride like a jewel necklace. They clothe themselves with cruelty. These fat cats have everything their heart could ever wish for, right? Because they in their blessing, okay? They got everything they could wish for, but yet they still want to, get the most that they can. They're never satisfied, okay? They scoff and speak only evil. In their pride, they seek to crush others. Now watch this. Hey, man, what is going on? Okay, so all right, there it is.
You just wait for Cuba. Cuba is a communist dictatorship that's killed priests and nuns. They've preyed on their own people. Their days are numbered. We're going to wake up one day, I hope in 26, in our backyard, we're going to have allies in these countries doing business with America, not narco-terrorist dictators killing Americans. This is a big frigging day. And everybody in the world is thinking differently than they were just a few days ago because of what you did. We had Venezuela, we have Cuba, we have Colombia in our backyard. And these three countries have been condemned ever since I've been in politics.
You see, so this devil here, he's basically blatantly telling you that hey, we're coming after these other countries, man. Okay, basically, it's like threatening to come for Cuba, Colombia, Greenland, and that's that right there. It's gonna ignite, some the beast hating the whore. You want to go for Iran, Mexico? This devil, and basically Donald Trump said that nobody can stop them. So he's speaking what it says. They scoff and speak only evil. In their pride, they seek to crush others. Hmm? This is who we reading about, man. The son of perdition, the man of perdition. All right? The man of sin. So he's definitely in his pride right now. Okay? Check this out. This is Micah 2:1 in the this is the Message Bible. It says, "Doom to those who plot evil, who go to bed dreaming up crimes. As soon as it is in the morning," see, you heard what he said. He said we're gonna wake up one day and we're gonna have him in our backyard. As soon as it's morning, they're off full of energy, doing what they've planned. They covet fields and grab them, find homes and take them. Didn't they just not bomb Venezuela and took that man out of his crib, and took all these people, all reserves, man? They bully the neighbor and his family. See people, see people only for what they can get out of them. You see, the Most High has had enough. He says, "I have some plans of my own. Disaster because of this interbreeding evil. Your necks are on the line. You're not walking away from this. It is doomsday for you. This is what the Lord. This is how the Lord gonna do Esau Edom, man. Okay, I'm telling you. For his wickedness and the things that he does in the earth, man, and make it as to be they had to do this, or using witchcraft to make people thinking that they doing this evil for a good purpose. Nah, man. Mocking ballads will be sung of you, and you yourselves will sing the blues. Our lives are ruined. Our homes and lands are auctioned off. They take everything from us. They leave us nothing. It is all sold to the highest bidder, and there wait, and there'll be no one to stand up for you, no one speak for you before the Most High and His jury. And that's when right here is when you devils are going to be in subjection in the kingdom to come under the Israelites, okay, along with all the rest of the heathens, okay. But you heard this devil speaking, in his pride, man. All right, check this out. Uh, Here.
Premier of Greenland and the Premier of Denmark and other Danish officials are responding to a Twitter post from your wife, Katie Miller, herself a former Trump White House official, showing Greenland covered with an American flag, saying soon after that was posted, President Trump repeated the claim that the U.S. needs Greenland for national security reasons. The Danish Prime Minister responded to this in an interview earlier today, as reported by Bloomberg, quote, "I believe one should take the American president seriously when he says it wants Greenland, but I will also make it clear that if the U.S. chooses to attack another NATO country militarily, then everything stops, including NATO, and thus the security that has been established since the end of the Second World War." Can you rule out that the U.S. is ever going to try to take Greenland by force?
Well, let me go back a step. The president has been clear for months now, so I know you're treating this as breaking news. The president has been clear for months now that the United States should be the nation that has Greenland as part of our overall security apparatus. The United
Right,
States,
but your wife posted that like hours after the Venezuela operation. That's why it's newly relevant.
No, I'm not, and I'll talk with you about it for an hour. I think it's a really important conversation. I just wanted to reset, Jake, by making clear that it has been the formal position of the U.S. government since the beginning of this administration, frankly, going back into the previous Trump administration, that Greenland should be part of the United States. The president has been very clear about that. That is the formal position of the U.S. government.
Right, but can you say that military action against Greenland is off the table?
It wouldn't mean military action against Greenland. The Greenland has a population of 30,000 people, Jake. The real question is, by what right does Denmark assert control over Greenland? What is the basis of their territorial claim? What is their basis of having Greenland as a colony of Denmark? The United States is the power of NATO. For the United States to secure the Arctic region, to protect and defend NATO and NATO interests, obviously Greenland should be part of the United States. And so that's a conversation that we're going to have as a country. That's a process we're going to have as a community of nations.
So you can't take it off the table that the U.S. would use military force to seize Greenland. You can't take it off the table.
Jake, I understand you're trying very hard to, which again, is your job. I respect it. It's great to get exactly the headline, right? That catchy headline.
I'm trying to get an answer to the question.
That says Miller refuses to rule out the United States should have Greenland as part of the United States. There's no need to even think or talk about this in the context that you're asking of a military operation. Nobody's going to fight the United States militarily over the future of Greenland. So
one last question, Steve.
See, he was being a devil right there. He asked him a straight question: Is can you rule out that the United States is not gonna militarily go after Greenland by force? You know, he didn't want to rule that out. All right, because what this devil he rules with the sword and by violence. All right, and this is big right here because you know. Denmark got a problem with this is because Denmark is part of NATO, all right? Denmark is part of NATO, but Greenland is part of Denmark. So what the talks is that, you know, United States is like, and his wife, this dude right here with this funny bunny head, his wife posted a picture and said with the United States flag, you know, over Greenland saying soon, like, you know, we're gonna take you just like we took Venezuela. Right? So that's this devil, you know, speaking in his pride, man. Okay? Which goes to show some of you, like, not some, you fucking Edomite women, you know, you're not, shit, you got a heavy debt to pay too, man. Right? So if the US, you know, try to take Greenland by force, it's like you triggering NATO. And NATO is going to defend Greenland because Greenland is part of Denmark and Denmark is part of the NATO. Prophecy is speaking here, man. Let me get this. Let's go to the book of Job 24 in the Message Bible, right? 24:1 says, but if judgment day isn't hidden from the Almighty, why are we kept in the dark? No, that's not. Is that it? Salaki. Oh, yeah. There are people out there getting by with murder, stealing and lying and cheating. They rip off the poor and exploit the unfortunate, push the helpless into a ditch, bully the weak so that they fear for their lives. The poor, and this is what Esau Edom doing. This is what he's doing. That's why he said no one can stop us, right? The poor, like stray dogs and cats, scavenge for foods in back alleys. They sort through the garbage of the rich, eke out survival and handouts. Homeless, and this is what he's done, and I'm bringing this out because this is what his track record is. This is what he's done. Like homeless, they shiver through the cold nights on the street. See, they make life hard. They make life real hard through their policies and the interest rates and inflation and all these different things. And then you become homeless, but then they make it a crime to be homeless. All right, they have no place to lay their heads, exposed to the weather, wet and frozen, they huddle in makeshift shelters, right? Nursing mothers have their babies snatched from them. Did not he do this in Chicago? Right? This is the rulership. This is the horns of this devil, man. Right? He did this in Chicago with who? ICE. The infants of the poor are kidnapped and sold. They go about patch. They go about patch and threadbare. Even the hard workers go hungry, right? No matter how backbreaking their labor, they can never make ends meet. Is this not true under the rulership of Esau, Edom? How you can never make ends meet. You can work all the overtime you want, but it's just never happening, right? You sowing in sowing much but reaping little. It says people are dying right and left, groaning in torment, enriched. The rich cry out for help, but God does nothing. Acts like nothing's wrong. Because the thing is that the Lord has to allow this devil to go so far, man. Okay, and basically for real, you gotta understand this is judgment from the Lord, right? So check that out. But this is, under the rulership of this devil, man. Okay, this is what I brought this out to show you. This is what he does. This fits him. Okay, the Lord is allowing these things to happen. All of this that you see, this is under the rulership of Esau Edom. He is allowing these things to happen. Who is doing this? When you read this, who is doing these things? Esau Edom, the hammer of the earth, the bully of the earth. All right. But you see what he said right here. He couldn't take off the table that they were gonna attack Greenland, right? Militarily, couldn't take it off the table. So that means that what they are divided. They are divided. Watch this. Matthew 12 and 25. It says, Yahweh knew what they were thinking, and so he said to them, any country that divides itself into groups which fights each other will not last very long. Any town or family that divides itself into groups which fight each other will fall apart. So if one group is fighting another in Satan's kingdom, this means that it is already divided into groups and will soon fall apart, you know? And you see these Edomites, fighting against each other, man, choosing sides here, okay? And I got this last clip right here. Look what he say.
Und da Dänemark der NATO angehört, wird auch Grönland prinzipiell von der NATO zu verteidigen sein.
See,
Und da Dänemark der NATO angehört, wird auch Grönland prinzipiell von der NATO zu verteidigen sein. Und da Dänemark.
So since Denmark is a member of NATO, that means Greenland will be defended by NATO. And it always been tensions with, in Trump administration with NATO, right? They had to tell him one time, you need to watch who you talking to, man. And that goes to show you how prideful this devil is, right? He's speaking in arrogancy and pridefulness. And that's how we know when we read Revelations, the 17th chapter and the 16th verse, KJV. It says, and the 10 horns, which is the EU, right, along with the NATO, which thou sawest upon the beast, shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So these people that were once under, once with you, right? Once a part of you, once y'all was once in league with each other, they're gonna turn on America and they're gonna do what? Burn her with fire. With what? Thermonuclear missiles, man. Okay? because the relationship between America, NATO, and the EU is severing via prophecy. So if we seeing all this tension, all this war talk, all this tension in the war, think about how close the MOTB is. Think about, what has to happen, before they just all out implement the MOTB. It has to be an economical collapse. Something has to happen here. Right? You got the whore and the beast beefing. All out beefing now. Right? So hey man, these are the times that we living in. So, Lord willing, you are edified. Shalom.